Hello everyone, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Today we're at the Miami Grand Prix circuit in F1 23, and as you can see it is raining for qualifying, and so this was a very tricky lap. This is my flying lap in qualifying. You can see the track is super slippery. I go super wide into turn number 1, and that cost me quite a bit of time from my previous lap. So actually at the start of this lap it's really not great, but as we keep going we do find some time. So biggest challenge with this was just trying to avoid your muscle memory of going faster than you need to go, because a lot of times you'll get in the habit of running a track a particular way, and having certain braking zones and certain throttle points and things of that nature, and the rain really upends all that. So this was a very good exercise in just trying to remember to drive the car, and I do a pretty mediocre job. I think that's fair. Mediocre to amateur, perhaps, but as you can see I'm just really going as slow as possible, and still going wide, but just trying to get through those chicanes in those last couple of turns. We're onto the back straight now. We're still down. We're down almost 1/10 of a second still, and still up until this point I'm thinking that the race is just going to go terrible because I'm not going to qualify good. But then as you can see at the very last turn, things start to get a little greener. And so now we're up 3/10, and we cross with a 144.812, and that is what we're going to end up finishing with. You can see on the left that I'm second right now. Leclerc's on provisional pole, and I believe that's actually how the final results of the race are. Never mind, I started in 6th. Okay, so here we are at the race. Unfortunately I didn't get a recording of the start, so we're looking at the replay, but I'm in the Alpha. You'll see me. I make contact with, I believe it was Hamilton at the beginning of the race, and there I go. So I had a good start. I went from 6th to 4th. I was maybe a little aggressive and bumped into some people, but it is what it is. So now by lap 2, I am up to 3rd, and just really trying to keep pace with the pack. You can see the camera operators decided to give us a nice, cool slow-mo shot. Very difficult game. The AI is super good. Honestly, I'm trying to work my way up to actually race online with people, and I'm not at that point quite yet. And you can see I went for a move. I did get into first. I'm battling with Leclerc for first here, but unfortunately it did cost me a piece of my front wing. So now by lap 5, I've been leading with a damaged front wing, and that's where we're going to start in media res here for the rest of the race from my perspective. So unfortunately I don't have footage from lap 5 to 11, but what happened was I went into the pits, got my front wing fixed, and I got put onto mediums because I started the race on softs. Yeah. And I was pretty much thinking I'm going to have to go the rest of the race on these mediums, and that's exactly what I do. So I thought this was an interesting race. Yes, it is against AI, but the AI in this game, like I was saying, is actually really good, and this is really kind of a, if you're like a racing nerd, I believe that you'll find this video interesting, because it is all about tire life and keeping your tires not too worn. But I will go ahead and say, I'll go ahead and spoil a little bit of the race. My car by the end of this race maybe had half a lap left in it, a lap max. But right now we're on fresh mediums, so let's look at the positives. Looks like we are in 18th currently. So we're going to be working our way up through the pack. And yeah, just trying to get caught back up. Now, I will say, I kind of undercut everyone. I went ahead and pitted on lap, I don't remember, I think it was lap 8. I went ahead and pitted to get my front wing fixed and to get put on the fresh mediums. So I have undercut everyone to the pits, so whenever people start pitting, I will be able to gain a few positions. At least that was my thought process during the race. Miami just eats at tires. I was talking about that with my teammate when we were playing in the middle of the race last night, and it just eats tires. I don't know if it's because it's a new track or if honestly, if it's even true to life, because I don't watch the Miami race a ton. I've seen one Miami race, and it was this year's when Lando won. Couldn't miss that. But I don't know if it's true to life or not, but in the game anyway, the Miami circuit just absolutely munches away at your tires. So you can see we've been on them for, I believe, 5 laps at this point, and we're up to 12%. So, but we are catching the pack. We're on a little bit cleaner tires, fresher tires, and cleaner air. So we are beginning to catch cars, but it is just a slow and long process. Again, that's really a compliment to the AI of this game. They're very difficult and they're very good. I was telling my teammate I've never seen such good defense moves from AI. Yes, sometimes they do wreck you and they can be frustrating, definitely. They're dumb like right here, getting grouped up like this, I will admit, but whenever you're actually racing one-on-one, the AI in this game is pretty good. I was trying to pass, I believe it was Albon, and I was going on the inside, and the AI knew to come in and cover the inside. So, I don't know. They make pretty good moves, but you can see somebody's going into the pits there, so that's going to be some positions. And I'm going around the Haas right here. And he's still right on me, still right by me. And I really hate racing in these S's because it's just a recipe for disaster, especially as a new player to the game who's prone to a lot of mistakes. But we managed to get by him. So we get by Magnussen, and with everyone in the pits and with Magnussen, we are back up into the points, and we're in position 9. So we're doing pretty good, pretty solid race so far. We've got 15 laps to go, though, and our tires are already at 15%. I've really noticed that the tires in this game start to drop off around 45-50%. They really start to, you see noticeable effects. Like if you're driving full force, you're going to start seeing effects on your tires after like 25-30%. But it really gets to be very difficult once it gets into that 50% range. And so we're coming up on the butt of the two guys here. One goes in pits, so that's going to be another position for us. Now remember, we're not going to pit again. We've pitted, and we are just going to have to suffer through what we have. So anytime someone pits, that's a good thing for us as long as our strategy actually ends up working. So you can see I've got Hulkenberg in front of me. He's being very careful on the S's for some reason, but I don't really want to make a move with him because of what I was saying earlier. The S's are just a recipe for disaster, so I try to get as close to him as I can, and then I enable my ERS, and DRS gets enabled, so I should be able to pass him on this straight. But let's see if I actually make it happen. Whew, he almost turns into me there. So yeah, we pass Hulkenberg pretty easily. And another position is gained. This is a fun part of the track. I really think this is like... I feel like that sector right there is like where the men are separated from the boys. Like, it can make or break your race. Fun part of the track. Very satisfying to feel... or very satisfying feeling to get it right. And then this last turn was honestly a crux of my existence. Just an absolute thorn in my side. I would constantly spin out and lose time on it, as I did there. And so now Hulkenberg's right on my butt again. If you're kind of curious to know where cars are behind me, there's an arrow right above the shift meter, and if you see an arrow, it means a car is close. If you see an arrow with a line outside of it, like right now, it means a car is really close. And if it's red, it means that they're like within your car, basically. So you can also look up at the top left and see the deltas. So yeah, Hulkenberg is just really staying on me, sniffing my butt. Let's see if I take this chicane good. You gotta be really careful there, and you gotta straddle that first bump, the first curb with your front two wheels. And then that's the quickest way to take it. That saves you a good half second. My teammate in this session actually is the one that told me about that. Okay, so we're going to have 12 laps to go when we cross the line. And as you can see, our tire wear is really, really starting to affect us. But we are now in the lead of the race, and it's Verstappen behind us. So we have quite a challenger behind us. Yes, it may not be the real Verstappen, but it is his AI counterpart, and he is really good in this game. So we got a challenge. You can see I'm starting to go wide. The sweeper turns is really where the tires struggled, because just they were not holding their weight at all. They just could not get a grip on the track on those sweeper turns. But right now, Verstappen is trying to pass us, and he gets by us. So now it's just up to me to try to get back by Verstappen. Again, like if I can hit that curb right, which I really didn't hit it right there at all. I'm surprised I didn't get a warning for cutting the track limits, but this is kind of what you're seeing right now. This is basically the way that I finished this race. On this back straight, it's very long, and if you just save up your ERS for the back straight, you can really gain quite an advantage on other people. And as you can see, right at the last turn, we go on the inside of Verstappen, and that is another lap led for us. Now, up until this point, me and my partner have not scored any points. So, you know, we've got 11 laps left. At this point, I'm sweating bullets because, you know, it seems silly, but this was a lot of points on the line. And look at the way those tires are just giving out. So now Verstappen's back on our inside, but he didn't make the move. He backs off. And we continue to be in the lead. Could have took the chicane better, but it is what it is. So here I've enabled my ERS, and this is really what saved me. This is what kept me in position, was just saving that ERS for the whole lap and then using it all up on this back stretch. You can tell me you can see the game is telling me that my pit window is open, and I'm going to go ahead and ignore that. Really struggling still on those sweepers because of my tire wear. I bump into Verstappen, or really I should say he bumps into me. But yeah, we have a little bit of contact, but luckily no damage. Tires are really getting worn. Verstappen is just pouncing all over me. He gets me in that turn again, and so trying to save up my battery and catch him again. If I can take this chicane right, which I did, that helps me a lot. Gets me closer to him. And then now ERS, and this is a DRS zone too, so may be able to make it up here again, make up the position. Now you can see that's what I mean. Like the AI, he's defending the inside line. He knows to defend the inside line. That's awesome. I mean, that's really, really cool AI work in a racing game. Alright, so didn't get him on the last turn, but you can see we have a huge run on him here into turn number 1. We go on the outside. Are we going to be able to make it happen? We go a little wide. We did not make it happen. And again, talking about racing people in the S's. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to happen here. I don't think it does. Yeah, he's getting a huge gap on us now. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest with you. Probably was just struggling with my tires. Let's see. You can see that they're up to 37%. Around 37-40%. So now he's got a big gap on us. And I've got to try to push to get back in the lead with these worn out tires. I remember thinking, like, I'm going to push a little bit more, and if I can't get back into first, my plan was to just start kind of slowing down and taking it easy on the tires, because a second place finish would still be good, 4 points. But of course a first place finish is better. So at this point of the race, I am still trying to race him. And you can see he got a huge run on him with our ERS and DRS. And we get right by him on the straight. I go to cover the inside, go a little wide, but I make it stick. So now I'm back into the lead. And so now at this point, I got 8 laps to go, and these tires, man, are really making me sweat. By the end of this race, my entire back was drenched in sweat. I was really, really sweating. I had to take those sweepers so slow. But the good thing is that the AI's tires are going to be wearing down soon as well. So I just need to be in the lead whenever that starts happening. I had to start taking that a little wider if I wanted to actually straddle the curb. But if you look down at the mini map in the lower left, you can kind of see, like, just the advantage that I get on the straights. And that's pretty much what this was. It was like a tug of war battle where they would get right up on my butt in the first and second sectors, but then in the third sector, in the last straight, in the last little bit of track, I would manage to pull away from them. And you can see that to some effect too on the front straight, but it's much more prominent on the back straight. You see we're almost at 50% wear on our tires, and so the tires are really getting to be a problem. Coming out of the exit really wide. Again, just because the tires are so bad right now at this point. Losing it almost, sliding a little bit out of the exit. Tires are really starting to wear down. But luckily, I have that strategy of ERS in the back straight, and it's really helping me out. Almost. We just about ruined our race there. I almost hit the wall. Go just a little wide into that turn. You can physically see the speed difference that I'm now having to deal with. The car is just very, very slow in any of the turns. Because if I go too fast, it's going to fly off the track. One less car to worry about. Nico Hulkenberg retired. We take the sweeper turn there pretty good. That's probably the best I take it with these bad tires for the entire race. I just try to get a little more on the inside there because I knew that Verstappen was right on my tail. And so I had to go a little bit on the inside at that turn, and I go a little wide at the chicane, but luckily that chicane is a little forgiving. You can correct yourself if you go a little too wide on the first part of it, but sometimes you end up overcompensating for going wide and you'll cut the corner. So you just got to be careful, but overall it's a pretty forgiving chicane. And I go really wide into the last turn. And now Verstappen's right on my tail again, but I activate ERS. So I was trying to save ERS, but if I had to use it for an emergency like that, I would go ahead and use it. Because there's so many braking zones in, and this sweeping part of the track, it has time to charge up, so... It doesn't ever really get charged more than 10 or 11% though, to be honest. But that's fine, honestly. That's about all you need. You can see Verstappen's just trying to make any move he can. Don't go quite as wide into the last turn there, but still don't take it perfect. And at this point, there might as well have been a thunderstorm in my room because so much sweat was falling from my face. I was completely soaked. This was the most tense race I've had so far on this game. I've got 3 laps to go. My tires are at 60% wear, and I have Verstappen right on my tail. A lot of stuff that can go wrong, and just trying to stay cool and collected and just take the turns as perfectly as I possibly can, and then activate that ERS on the straights. By this point in the race, I was feeling a little good. Well, maybe that's not the right way to phrase it, but I was really starting to get excited about the prospect of possibly scoring points for the team. Because I believe this is round 5 or 6 in the calendar, and up until this point, we still haven't scored any points. And so I'm very, very excited at the possibility. I only have to go around 3 more times. I'm closing my tire menu. I closed my tire menu down there because it was starting to distract me. But then I immediately am trying to open it back up. That is one thing I have to say that I'm a little bit critical of in this game. The information is just a little overwhelming. And I mean, I understand that's probably the case for an F1 driver as well, but the information is a little overwhelming and it's not in the best spot. Like, go really wide into that last turn. And again, Verstappen right on the tail, making the same mistake again for the 3rd or 4th time this race. I'll take a look back to see just how close he is and have a little bit of breathing room, but Not really. That's something that I've noticed about this game is, or well, really F1 is that a tenth of a second in an F1 car is not the same as a tenth of a second in like a GT car or a sports car. The speeds are so fast and everything is so sensitive that really a tenth of a second is not a lot. But yeah, the information in the F1 game, the HUD, the player's HUD is not great to me. I would like to see a better, like, closer up radar feature, sort of similar to the Gran Turismo series, since the mirrors are basically useless. If you're in cockpit view, you can't even see your mirrors unless you turn your FOV up to really a comical amount. So yeah, with the lack of mirrors, I mean, I know you can see mirrors in the camera that I have right now, but they're just not very useful. So mirrors have never been as effective in video games as they are in real life. I feel like they're just not as effective. So I feel like a better radar system would be nice in this game, and then moving like stuff like the delta and things like that to the center of the screen, I think would actually help. I don't know if there's a setting for that, but like the little pop-up menu where like you can see my tires and stuff are, as crazy as this sounds, I would almost rather it be like in the center, maybe towards the top. And I understand that's blocking the track a little bit, but looking up to the top left or the top right or bottom right, it's really hard to keep like a precise movement going in the car. Okay, anyway, we are on the final lap 29, and I have managed to keep Verstappen at bay the entire time, and my tires at this point are so bad that I'm fully expecting, as you can see, I just give the turn at the wall at the turn there just one final kiss, but I'm fully expecting to send this car into the wall at any moment. It is so difficult to drive. It really is a miracle, and just honestly, I don't want to say pure luck, but
73%.
I'm pretty clumsy in this game most of the time, so it was a little bit of luck that helped me get to the end. So as you can see, we turned into the final corner. I thought that was it. I thought that's where I was going to lose it, but we straighten up. We keep Verstappen at bay, and we win us a race.
Let's go! Dude, it feels fucking good! Oh, baby! Oh, yeah.